Five.
Okay, so yesterday we had introduction to loops, right? And we discussed that there are two types of loops. Okay, one is your for loop, which actually used when you know how many times to run, and we saw how to use using range, right? We
Yes.
saw how to use for loop using range, right? Range would dictate how many times you want to run for loop. Then we discussed about while loop, where we saw how to give condition, right? And we also saw that if you do not give proper condition, it went on for infinite loop. Okay, so
Yes.
today we'll do some programs for using for loop. Okay, so let's say we want to print one single. Okay, we'll look at pattern first. Okay, so let's say I want to print one single star. So I'll say print star, correct? And
Hmm.
you print star, you get, okay, you get single star. I need to print 5 stars. So I can, okay, I can even say something like this. Okay, we will learn this in when we do strings. You can also say text into 5. When you do, you can multiply a text. See,
Okay.
and the next topic after loops will be strings only. Okay, where we'll spend time on strings. We'll see that you can join two string. You can add two string. You can add two numbers, 5 plus 2, 7. You can join. You can add two strings and they'll get joined. So hello plus world becomes hello world. Okay. You can multiply a string with a number. So if I say star into 5, you get star 5 times star. Okay. I can say how are you? And if you multiply by 5 times, you get how are you 5 times. Right? Okay, but we're talking about loop, so let's use loop to print it. So I need to print it 5 times. So what I'll do, I'll put in a for loop. So
Wow.
for I in range 5. So when I
Five.
say for I in range 5, it's going to generate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 5 times loop will run, right?
Yes.
And as I said, you need to use for variable counter in, okay, in operator and the range function, and you say colon. The moment you say colon, this has to get inside for loop,
Yes.
right? And now you run it, you get, you know,
Oh, five
5
times.
stars like
Yes.
this. Now I want to print these 5 stars in same line. So when I want to print in same line, I can say end, isn't
And
it?
yes.
And equal to, and instead of slash n, I'll give a space so that I will have space between the stars. So I've got space between the stars. Okay. Now I want to repeat it. I want to print, 5 stars, like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 times. So what does that mean? It means that this whole thing should be, see, this whole thing that you see on your screen gives us 5 stars. Now if I repeat this whole thing 5 times, I'll get square of 5 stars,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
So this whole thing needs to be repeated. Nested loops, okay, is what we are going to do. Just like we did nested if conditions. Nested means what? You have outer if condition and then you have
Inner
inner if
front.
condition. So here I'm going to say outer if for j in range 5. So when I say for j in range 5, I have to give tab here, I can give tab here, or what you can do is you can select both these lines and say tab. So both will move one step to the right.
Okay.
So this is actually, this for loop, the inner for loop is actually printing the star. Outer for loop is making sure that printing happens 5 times. So this I print star 5 times, and this is making sure that you print this whole thing 5 times. So this is printing a line of star, and this line will be printed 5 more times. So when I run this, what happens, you see, you get 25 stars in single line. Why?
Yes.
Because we have set n equal to.
And
But what we want, like after 5 stars, after you are done with this, before you print the next set, before you print the next head, we need to switch to the next line.
Remove
So
it.
before you, so if I put this inside for loop, that print will be along with inner loop. No, so inner loop should be to print 5 stars. But when you repeat the outer loop, that's when you want change in line. So I'll put print here. Okay, now you see, you get a pattern like this. Okay.
Okay. Can you explain this again? Sorry.
Can't hear you.
This one, can you explain the last print?
Yeah.
Uh,
So okay, so what did we do? We have a for loop
yes.
and we have inner for loop.
Yes.
What does for loop means? For loop means whatever you have that you repeat one
Yes.
time,
Yes.
right? Then 2 times, then 3 times. Let's say we have 3. So whatever you have, you repeat 3 times. But whatever you have here is again a loop. And so
Yes.
this loop will repeat 3 times. So what happens? Okay, one run of outer will make 3 runs of inner.
Okay.
One run of outer will make 3 runs of inner. Okay, see, because it's like this, I'm saying do 1 time. But when you're doing 1 time, here you have something which says do 5 times. So your
Okay.
1 time outer will be 5 times.
Yes.
Now, if I say do this 5 times, means what? Every 1 time will do it 5 times.
5 times.
This will be 5 times, second time will be 5 times, then this will be 5 times, then this will be 5 times, then this will be 5 times. Okay, but what did we say? We said end equal to
A space.
yes. So when it is repeating 5 times, it is repeating in this part only 5 times, 5 times,
Yes. Yes.
5 times, 5 times. But when I put slash n after, see, so inner, I don't want to disturb. So inner will print 5 times.
Yes.
But before it goes to the outer, see, you have outer
Okay.
here for loop, then you have this for loop, and you have this. So this line is inside this, correct? But now if I write a print here, this print is not inside this. This print is inside this.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
this print will listen to this guy, not this loop. For this loop, this is outside,
Yes.
right? So this guy is going to listen to this guy. So that's why this, when this 5 times loop is done, before it goes back to the main to repeat, you have new line. So it comes
New
to
line.
new line.
Got it.
Then it goes up, repeats 5 times, then comes down here, next line. Then it goes up. That's why we gave print blank. So it is changing the line. Print will have slash n automatically.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that's how you can manage print. Make sense?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll make some more change to it. I'll go back to the program here. Okay. So this is it. Okay. Now what I don't want 5 stars. Okay. So what I'll do is, I want one star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. I want 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. Okay.
Yes.
How do I do it? See, understood here. This inner loop is printing the star, and this is making sure that we print in different lines. This is keeping track of the number of lines, number of rows.
Yes.
And this is actually doing printing. Printing is called by this inner loop. So inner loop will run. Now between this and the next example that we're talking about, what is the difference? Difference is that outer loop, okay,
Hmm.
should be 5 only,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Outer loop should be 5. But the inner loop, okay, the inner loop, what happens? It should have a mechanism to count.
Yes.
It should have a mechanism to count. Okay. So
Yes.
first it should print only 1, then it should print 2, then it should print 3, so on.
Yes.
So what I'll do, I'll copy the same program and I'll put it here. So here if I do it 1, you get only 1 star, right? But what should happen? It should change every time, right? Before you run I, it should change. So what I'll do, I'm going to say here, say Z equal to 0, let's say. And here I'm going to say Z equal to Z plus 1, right? I told you this is same as Z equal to Z plus 1. So if I say Z equal to Z plus 1, now Z becomes 1. And here I'll use Z. Okay. So when you run it, okay. So see, first Z is 1, so it prints 1 time. It goes up to the loop here. Okay, this loop has to run. Now Z has become 2. So it comes here, prints it 2 times. Goes up, Z becomes 3, 3 times. Goes up, Z becomes 4, 4 times. Goes up, Z becomes 5, 5 times. Right?
Yes.
Or see, J is also something that is changing just like Z. J is also 0, 1. But what happens? Here Z is 1, but J is only 0. J starts with 0, right?
Yes.
I can simply say here, I will not use Z. I'll simply say here J. Right? Now, J is 0 first. So it will print 0 time. Then second time J becomes 1. So we need to start from 1, not from 0. So I'll say J plus 1 here. Now when you run it, see, you get same pattern. So as much as possible, try to avoid new variables. Okay. Each variable is going to take space in the memory, right? We don't want, okay, unnecessary new variables. As much as possible, reuse the code, reuse variables, reuse code.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What?
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's do one more thing. I want to print similar pattern, okay, but in reverse order. Means I want 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want in this format. Tell me what should I do? So we'll take same thing. Okay. We'll take same thing. And so this is like going from 1 to 5. I need to go from 5 to 1. So if I put
minus
5,
1.
okay, so our first row is done. This is what we want, first row. But second row should be 1 less, 2 less, So if I say 5 minus j, it works.
Hmm.
First time j is 0. So 5 minus 0, 5. You get 5 times. Second iteration of j, it will be 5 minus 1, 4. Third iteration, it will be 5 minus 2. So 3 times. Yes? And now when
Yes.
you run it, so see, you get this pattern. Right?
Yes.
So you can generate this pattern. Okay. Now I want to generate this pattern. But little different. Okay. So I want to give 1 single space, 2 single space, 3 single spaces, and you have. I want to print this pattern. This is like isosceles triangle. We've been doing rectangle triangle. I want this triangle. Tell me, how will you approach this?
Hmm.
Tell me, tell me. If you don't tell me, I will not move ahead.
It's increasing one by one. First line it's 1, second is 2.
Yeah. So maybe this is the one, right? So we'll copy and paste this code. But what change? Because see, if I run this, it will be right angle triangle, right?
Yes.
What
But
change should we make to this?
we need to change the positions of the star. So, like,
So see,
Maybe you can give a space.
this is combination of first two problems. Okay, this one and this one. See, what you see here, the spaces, correct? Now spaces, before, see, earlier spaces were on the right side. So we never bothered. Right side, if you don't print, it will be blank anyways. Right? Now
yes.
here, what happens is you have spaces on the left side. So since spaces in the left side, we have to think of space. We cannot let space, come automatic. It can't come automatic, right? You have to handle. So this is like combination of first two problems, first two cases. First case is where your number of spaces is decreasing from 5 to 1, or you can say 4 to 0. From 4 to 0, the spaces are decreasing. And second case is where stars are increasing. So you have two cases where first this one, this is for blank spaces. Blank spaces is like maximum then minimum. So I'll copy this. See, outer J is for number of rows. So this will not change, right? This is for number of rows only. So this will not change. What will change is inside this. So first you will print it, okay? And instead of star, we will print space, okay? Since we are using Z here, we will use something else. Let's say K, I, J, K, okay? So what happens first, you will say K, which is 5, so it starts with 4 spaces, right? So we'll say 5 minus J minus 1. So 5 minus 0 minus 1 is 4. And we want spaces. So how many spaces you want? You want only one space. So we'll say and nothing. Okay. So these spaces will be given by K loop. After spaces, immediately we have to print star. So that's why we don't have to say print here. Okay, we need stars immediately. So stars will be printed immediately. And stars will go from j plus 1, right? Which is 1 to 5. Right? So see, we got this. This is printing your spaces. This is printing your stars here. Yes? Simple, isn't it? Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
So, how that means it's equally spacing? Explain once more.
I don't know. Can you speak a little louder? How is that?
Yeah, means
Hmm.
so for when k is in range of 5 minus 0 minus 1, so it's 4. So it
Correct.
will give 4 spaces.
Correct. First time.
So 4 spaces
So
means
I just counted while doing it, right? That you have 4 spaces here.
okay.
You have 0 space. So it is not from it is not 5 to 1. It is 0 to 4.
Okay.
0 spaces. We want this star to be stuck to the wall.
Okay.
No space here.
Okay.
So 0 space 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay.
Right?
So
If I don't give minus 1, okay, this star will be one, we'll have one space on the left side.
okay. So we're only considering left side space, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know. Right side, if
Yes.
you don't give, see, when you are writing numbers, right, or better would be your text, right? So text, when you say hello, obviously right side will be blank only if you're writing in a
Yes.
line hello. Blank will
Yes.
be on which side? Right side, correct?
Right side, yes.
Because we are doing right to left.
Okay.
If you do from, what did I say? Left to right. So blank will be on the right side. If you do right to left, blank will be on the left side.
Yes.
So we are doing
Got-
right, left to right, correct? Printing also left to right only here.
Yes.
So left side space is there, so you have to, margin. It's like margin. You have to leave margin on the left side. The right side, you don't have to leave margin because you have lot of space.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Now your assignment here is, I want you to print reverse. Reverse means what? Assignment.
Right.
Print below pattern. Okay. So 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, and 4 space. Okay. Reverse one. Okay. Try this. And the beauty of this is, see, I'm giving 5, 5, 5, right? So I'll put n equal to 5 here. Okay. Number of stars is 5. And everywhere I'll put 5 as n. And okay. And and okay. So you get 5 stars. Now I want 10 stars, right? I'll simply make it 10, right? And I don't have to do anything else, everything will be taken care of. See, you get a 10-star pattern. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe if you do this star, the assignment which I gave you, if you print this one before this pattern, right, you will get a very good looking pattern here. So you can try. So let's do one more thing. Let's print A. How do you print A? So A will be, right? So let me go to paint and then I want to print A using patterns. Okay. So what do? So you will have, or let's use brush itself. So you have, let's say, star here, then star here, then star here, and you will have star here, and then star here, star here, star here, and star here. This is how A looks like, right? So you have 5 stars, right? And at the center, okay, you will continue, right? You'll print continuous star, right? I need to print this pattern. How do I print this pattern? Now, if you're printing any pattern, okay, the pattern is good way to learn logic, okay? So see, first thing is understand the logic here, okay? Understand something that you can automate. Anything that you want to bring computerized thing, for making anything computerized, you have to think of what can be automated. If you cannot think of anything getting automated, then you cannot, right, bring computerization there. Computerization means automation. Okay. So you need to figure out, need to find out which are the possibilities. Where can I, okay, bring this automation? So you have to look at the pattern that can be that can be replicated. Okay. So see here. Now in this case, okay, these 2 star on the left, 2 star on the right, this I can do, right? But if you have first row and the middle row, okay, first row and middle row is where you have to print continuous stars.
Yes.
Right? And you also have to worry about the blank spaces. Just like we did in the previous thing, right? So what did we do in the previous thing? Let's get back here to the program. So I found 3 pattern here. Okay, let's talk about this. I found 3 pattern here. Okay. One pattern is this star. Sorry, first pattern is this space. Second pattern is to print only 2 stars. And this will be printed except first row and the middle row. And for first row and middle row, you have to print continuous star, right? First row means first is one star. Third row means 3 stars. Okay. So middle and first should have all the stars. Okay. So let's get back to our program. Okay. So this is the assignment, right? Okay. So here I'm printing a pattern, right? Okay. So this is very much like what we did here, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to take this and put it here. Now let me run it. Okay. So see, this is what I said. This is good. Okay. First one, it should be like this. Like if you take 10 as a pattern, If you take 10 as the pattern, let me print it and put it in the paint here. Okay, this is also A. Only thing is, if it is 10, then at the center, okay, at the center, maybe here you want all the stars, but you don't want, okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it is modification of previous pattern only. Right? This is what we
Yes.
want, actually. Correct?
Yes.
So let's go back to a program. And I'm going to say here, okay, so this space is fine. Space, we don't have to make any changes, but we have to make changes to the I. So I will say if j equal to 0, j equal to 0 means first row. Okay, then or, correct? Or j equal to mid value. Okay, mid value is what?
Mm, Five.
Int of round of n by 2. So if I do n by 2, okay, n by 2, if it is even number, let's say 10 by 2, it's fifth row. But if it is odd number 5, 5 by 2 will be 2.5. And I'm going to round it off and then do the integer. So hopefully this should give me 3. Okay, and I'm going to move this inside this. This for loop should work. This for loop should work only when j is 0 or j is n by 2. Does it work? Let's see. See, it worked. So we got first continuous stars and second continuous star. Okay. And rest of these, we should have only 2 stars for the first and the last space. So now we'll say else here. This else is for this if. If it is not first and middle, then we need to print what? We need to print star. Okay, so I'll say print star. Okay, and I'm going to say end equal to blank. Okay, and again I need to say print star. Okay, and here if I, this one I can, I need not say end equal to this, and then I don't have to give this. Last, when you print the last star, okay, so let's be consistent. Okay, so let's give this. Okay, I'll tell you later what I was trying to say. First, let's get this working. Okay, fine. But between these two stars, we need to have spaces.
Yes.
Okay, you're printing star, you're printing one more star. Okay, if I don't give space, what happens? So you see, one star, these 2 stars are printed. But so left side star is correct, but right side star should have blank spaces in between.
Yes.
Okay, and this blank spaces is same as the number of row. If it is first row, 0. Second row, 1 space. Third row, 3 spaces. So what I can do is I will say print. Okay, now see, this is how you should do. Okay, do something, and based on whatever your assumption is, see the output. Then you go back and change it. Oh, I need to give space here. I need to reduce this. I need to move that. So now I need to give space here, and this space should be multiplied by j number of times. Okay, first row, j is when j is 0, first row j is 0, 0 times. Second, okay. So let's run and see if you're getting correct or not. Okay, we need to give end equal to because it is printing in the next line, okay? N equal to blank. Is it correct? No. We need to give more spaces here. What if I give one space here, will it solve the problem? No. I need to give. Okay. Now, should I give double spaces? Let's see. Yes. See, now you got this pattern. So if it is j equal to 1, we need to give 2 spaces. If j equal to 2, you need to give 4 spaces. That's how it worked. Now you see, this is perfect. Yeah, no. Yes. And best part is, you change the n, it will work for any n. I'll make n equal to 5. Then also it will work.
Okay.
Okay. This star should be printed one extra, right? So what I'll do, where are we printing? We are printing here. This is the star pattern, right? So print star, and I will give this. Will this work? Let's see. No. We don't need to print, we need to give space before star. Then I think left side will be out of turn. So let's see. Yeah, then left side. This is on the line and this is on the out of turn. So what I'll do is, okay, you can okay. So okay, let's think. You think and fix it. Okay. Obviously, you have to give space here. I want you to think and fix it. Okay. We are anyway nearing time, so I want you to think and fix it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You can do anything. 15 also, if you do, it will look like 15, right? So see, any number you give, you get a. This is called identifying the pattern, repeatability, pattern. Find the pattern and work on pattern. Don't hard code it. If I hard coded it, then if you change n, this value will not get changed. Now, since I have not hard coded it, whatever value you give, you'll get same output, right? Now you can design any pattern with this knowledge. You can design D, C, G, H, J. Best thing is, if you want to practice for loop, design pattern from A to Z. Okay, and see if you can do it using for loop. Okay, no coding, hard coding.
Swapnil,
So if you say n equal to 10, it should be n equal to 10 and it should be bigger. If you say n equal to 15, it should look like 15. It should be 1.5 times bigger than 10. Just change n and everything should look like text only. Yes, somebody was saying something.
yeah, just can you once more tell me the variables once? J is where are we using J? K, I, okay, I understood I. So for J is for
Outer value, right? Number
Okay,
of
okay.
rows. J will give you the number of rows. First row, second row, third row.
Okay,
From
got
0
it.
to n minus 1.
Okay. And K is
J itself is row number.
and K, you're using it for inner loop.
Where are we using K?
Right below.
For what? Ah, that's what. For what are we using K? I've highlighted it. You tell me.
Um,
N minus J minus 1 print and J is 15.
No. For what? For what? What is it printing? You tell me.
It's printing space.
It's printing space. Where do
Okay.
we need space? This is
Left
same. Okay,
side.
see, this one I copied from the previous example only. Right? Because here also, just like previous one, I need to give space here, right?
Okay. For space, you're using it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After space only, all this, actual
Okay,
work
okay.
will start, isn't it? So first I
Okay.
give space.
Okay. Got
And
it.
then after space, I'm checking, is it first row or middle row? If it is first row and middle row, I need to print continuous star. But if it is not first row and middle row, then I need to print first star and last star only. And in between, you should have spaces.
Okay. Yeah, got it. We have to practice it.
Yes.
Yes.
Practice it, and I to tell you, see, I will not do anything from scratch,
Yes.
any assignment. I want you to do it and tell me that, oh, I got stuck here. Now what should I do? I will take your code and I'll explain you based on your code. Okay. So you
Okay.
need to practice, even if it is 30%, it's okay. Bring 30% of the code and we will complete it. I'm not going to do from scratch. Okay. You
Yes.
make an attempt and I'll help you. Sounds good?
Yes.
Sure.
And what I was saying, assignment. Okay, this can be your weekend assignment. Practice pattern from A to Z. Just like we did A, you do for other text, capital letters. A to Z, right? Shall we do one more program before we end, or you think enough for today?
No, we'll practice it shortly.
Louder.
We'll practice.
Practice it.
You'll practice it?
Yes.
Okay. So I have one more program. Okay, remind me when we meet on Monday that I need to do one more for loop program before we move to while.
Okay.
Okay. Multiplication table. Okay, we'll do multiplication table, and then we'll move to while example.
Sure.